weekend ahead for England, Ireland and Wales.
What's happening? Even I know.
They face the toughest challenge in the Rugby World Cup quarter-finals now. Sudden death, Kate.
Sunday. I know, it's really, really
They lose the
exciting.
round.
And even if you're not convinced that I know what's going on, one man who certainly understands the challenges is England World Cup winner Kyran Bracken, who for years during his professional career faced a secret struggle with his mental health. We are going to get onto the rugby because we do want to talk about that. But what many people might not know is while you were doing so brilliantly and playing so well, and we saw you there being fantastic, behind all of that, what we couldn't see is you were struggling with some serious mental health issues.
That's right. I mean, it all started in about 2001, so a couple of years before the World Cup win in 2003, and I was getting these adrenaline rushes, I was feeling sick, but mainly going to sleep. I really, really struggled. I couldn't sleep. And so I was on sleeping tablets.
What sort of things, Kyran?
Yeah, well, I was going to the toilet sort of, I don't know, 80, 90, 100 times in the night.
Wow.
And so I was having broken sleep. And then the next day I was struggling to train. Now, I didn't really join the dots, really. I didn't understand what was happening to me.
And why were you going to the toilet,
Well,
if I can ask? Was it because you needed to go to the toilet?
No,
was
it's...
it because...
well, OCD is quite a difficult mental health thing to treat. Basically, I was going to the toilet thinking, if I go to the toilet, I can get to sleep. And then I go again and go again and go again. And it kept happening, sort of got worse and worse and worse. And I was having 2-3 hours sleep in the evening. But I didn't sort of relate the pressure of playing rugby to what was happening at night and during the day with the adrenaline. So after a while, seeing a psychologist, they said, look, you need help. And the RPA, the Players Association, were brilliant, and they sort of sat me down. And actually, I think the biggest thing is, and the only reason why I'm speaking out now is because at the time I was just so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed. The stigma attached to having a mental health disorder. And I thought, actually, with the England squad, I was the only one out there who was struggling. And actually, years later, I found that other people, you know, were going through similar things. And I think it was just the pressure of rugby and life.
It's a very macho environment, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't want to show any weakness, because within a rugby team, weakness gets jumped on, you get mercilessly teased for it.
Yeah. I hid this from family and friends.
Was it still, Kyran, was it still manifesting itself when you did Dancing on Ice? Because that, again, was performance on a big scale.
No, absolutely. I had it for 10 years. Wow. I mean, it's really hard to treat OCD. It's a very different type of mental illness. So I was struggling all along behind, you know, the closed doors.
Sure.
Do you think some of it, I've got friends who've got OCD issues, and some of it, they say, I know everyone's different, is it's almost about trying to take control. And as a sportsman, and when you were so successful in Dancing Out, you're controlling that all the time, aren't you? And you're trying to take that into your emotional life.
That's exactly it. OCD is about control, and the more you try to control OCD, the worse it gets. But when you're a rugby player and you get injured, you sort of treat it. You fight it. You work out a way to get on the pitch. Same with OCD. It can get worse. The more you fight it, you have to become very acceptance of the symptoms and accept what's happening, and that's very hard as a macho rugby player. But the hardest thing for me, really, was the stigma attached to it. It's 18 years since it started, and I'm still now embarrassed to talk about it, because it's kind of like a sign of weakness. But I think if I can talk about it, people see me playing for England, winning a World Cup, doing Dancing on Ice, doing great. It can happen to anyone. So it's just about sharing the sort of understanding that we all need to speak out.
It's not
ITV doing great on this, aren't they?
Absolutely.
They're doing great.
And it's great that you have come in to talk and share those thoughts with us, Kyran, and glad that you're on the mend and you're certainly getting there. We're going to talk more rugby now, though, because, of course, it's a big weekend. We've got another very successful rugby player in the studio that we'd love you to meet. Come on in, Shay.
Shay is here now, along with Mum Donna. Good to see you. Hello,
Dad Mike.
Shay. There you go. Hi.
It's tricky for the Welsh to be celebrating an English rugby player. Congratulations, first and foremost, Shay. That is absolutely fabulous. 11 tries in one game. What went so right? Why did it go so well that day, Shay? Or was that normal for you?
No.
It's not normal. Tell us about your team. What's your team called?
Treble RC, under-10s.
The under-10s. And this was a tournament you were playing in, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Is it a good team, Shay?
Yeah.
What do you like about playing rugby?
Everything.
The team spirit, the teamwork, the hard work. Tackling, you good at tackler?
I haven't been tackling for long. I only just now, started tackling.
Is that because you did tag rugby when you were younger? Yes, they tend to do that to break you in. Yeah. It's still a very physical sport, though, isn't it? Which a lot of people find hard. And you've been born with one arm. Did you ever think, oh, I can't do this? Or did you just think, no, I want to do it?
I did think I can't do it, but I just started playing. Now I can do it.
You certainly can. 11 tries in one game.
Rugby's a religion in Wales, Mike, obviously. How does it feel to have an extraordinary rugby player in your family?
He's unbelievably good. He does me... I'm very happy with him.
So who are your favourite players then, Shay?
George North, and when Shane Williams was playing, I liked him too.
You're actually taller than Shane Williams as well now. I mean, that was the extraordinary thing, wasn't it, Kyran, about Shane Williams? He was sort of an anomaly because he was a small rugby player.
Yeah, rugby players are getting bigger and bigger, but Shane Williams is one of the best in the world, and I've seen this guy play. He's absolutely amazing. But it's interesting. I wonder what he thinks about Wales' chances in this World Cup.
We'll ask him in just a moment because, of course, we know how much you love your rugby and Shane Williams, and we've got a little message from you. If you have a look down there.
Hi Shay, it's Shane Williams here, pal. I've heard you've had a bit of a hard time, but trust me, you're doing the right thing. You're doing all your talking on the rugby field. You're scoring all those tries. You're playing some great rugby. And I know what it's like to be told you can't do something for whatever reason. But the best thing to do is shut them up on the rugby field, and you're doing that. I'm glad you're playing with a smile on your face, and please keep up the good work. By the way, stop scoring all these tries, please, because I've got a record to keep. All right? Take care, buddy.
You're making him look bad.
That's brilliant. Pretty good, isn't it? Now, so, as Kyran was saying, what do you think about Wales' chances this weekend?
They're saying this in front of him as well, from England.
What do you reckon? Are you going to win?
Yeah.
Do you think you can win the whole thing?
We've got a chance, yeah.
Got a chance. Wise words. Kyran, your expectations this weekend?
Well, I'm very hopeful, of course, that England are going to beat Australia. I do think Wales will beat France, but Japan against South Africa, that's a really exciting one as well. I think Japan might actually win that. And
really?
Ireland, we know, we never know what we're going to get, but they're playing the best team in the world, probably New Zealand. So, but with England, if they win this game, the prize is they get to play New Zealand in the semi-finals. So.
But you want to get to the end having beaten all the best teams, right?
Of course you do.
Is that what it is?
Do it the right way, of course.
Well, look, Kyran, thank you for joining us. Shay, it was lovely to meet you.
We know you'll all be glued.
Yeah, keep up the good work. And Donna and Mike, thank you very much for coming.
Because you can watch all the quarter-final games right here on ITV. England, as I say, kick off against Australia at 8:15 tomorrow. That's followed by Ireland against the current world champions, New Zealand, at 11:15. Sunday, I know you know this, Shay, Wales play France first, followed by Japan against South Africa. Lovely to see all of you this morning.
Great stuff.
Thank you.